obviously the band's early career, it built steadily, didn't it, over those first couple of records. And Premonition in '81 was big. Had a couple of big singles on there, Poor Man's Son and Summer Nights as well. And then you got the call from Hollywood. You've mentioned Sylvester Stallone and Eye of the Tiger and things like that, and it's the one we all know about. So take me back to the beginning of that and how you came to the attention of Sylvester.
Tony Scotti, you know, it's a simple story. I think I said this on a podcast. Maybe it was with Steve. I don't know. I said, the fucking story's been, you know, how things get like, I don't know, they get like, all of a sudden, I'm like, where the fuck did that story come from? They get like blown up.
Like
It's
Chinese whispers, it changes, yeah.
everything you put it this way, everything, 95 or 9% of what you heard is complete made up bullshit. Tony Scotti, who was head of Scotti Brothers, was friends with Sylvester Stallone. They're two Italian guys in Hollywood. So as a young guy, when I'm going through Scotti Brothers Records, the label, they got all these fucking posters of Sylvester Stallone. I'm like, what the autograph? I'm like, the fuck are these up here for? Well, they're really good friends. So they were out to dinner one night at Rayo. That's this Italian restaurant here. And this is true too. The movie was done. Sly Stallone wanted different music and he didn't want to put the fucking movie out. So Tony's a smart guy. He's real smart. He's like, well, you know, I could, he didn't say it, but this is my take. I could use the help too. That's if you want to read between the lines. I have this band. They're really fucking good. And I think these two guys are good writers. Why don't you let them see what they could do? That's it. The rest of it's bullshit. It's all phenomenalized bullshit. The phone, I have to read this stuff. The call that rocked the world. There's no fucking call. It's all bullshit. He called one person, me. Okay. And it lasted like about 30 seconds. And then as time went on, you know, we would have to talk with him and stuff. But when I listen to, that's why I said I don't want to do interviews. When I listen to some of the stuff, it's bullshit. There's always a real person involved who should get, like the Scotti brothers. One day I got a call from them. Well, it's about time. And this was like maybe 2 years ago. It's 50,000 years later. What? Well, they should get credit. Like Tony for that moment being out to dinner with his friend, who happens to be the biggest movie star in the world, going, no, man, I don't like the music. Well, I got this band. That he should get big credit for that, because without the Italian food, that setting, being friends with Sly Stallone, it's all out the window. And nobody fucking knows that. I'm like, Jim, why don't you just tell him, man, Tony and Sly were and are friends, and that's it. The rest of it is bullshit. Because I have to read it. I just stopped. I said, it's a lie. It's a fucking lie. It's a flat out lie. None of it happened. And I'm like, I used to take, not heat, but I used to just say, just leave things be. And then one day, I think the man said, and you know, some of those stories, I said, I know. I get embarrassed really easy. I know, man. So I said, yeah, I'll just start telling the truth. What the fuck? How you going to go wrong? I said, but you know, I don't ever want to look like there's a rift between me and Jim, because Jim likes riffs, but he knows better, but he likes to project. I hate them and they don't exist. So one day I decided, fuck it, I'll just tell a story. It's just the truth. It's true. So it's pretty simple. But, you know, it's being in the right place at the right time for everybody.
Yeah.
Tony Scotti, Tony's fucking genius, man. He's still out there making deals. Don't forget he owns Baywatch and he's big. So, you know, in that moment, he's like, well, here. And that's, which is what I would do. It's amazing, is it? Now you hear about the rock, that call it rock the world. It never fucking existed. Guy called up, yo, you know, Tony told me to call you guys. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to say on the phone to Sly Stallone when you're like 22? You just listen, you go, okay, so we'll try to, put some song together. And you send in a tape, and how the fuck do you know? You don't. So that's what we did. And Tiger was the first song, by the way. We wrote two, okay? Tiger was the first song. It took us 10 minutes, except for the lyrics. The lyrics took us, because we didn't have watching us all with the eye through that. We didn't have that one fucking line.
Okay.
All the writing in the song was basically done in 10 minutes, except for the hook line, which is the most important line. But man, it was a hard 2 or 3 days coming. And then one day it just dawned on both of us. Wait a minute. We didn't even think about the movie making connections. We just came up with the tagline. we called it the Eye of the Tiger, but we didn't know how to end the chorus. I'm like, man, Jim, we must suck as songwriters. We got to come up with like a great tagline. And we're sitting around there watching us all with, then we got to analyze words with, through, whatever, watching us all blank with the eye through the Eye of the Tiger. That's how it came up. And when we sent it in, we wrote another ballad called Ever Since the War Began, which Sly Stallone ended up using at the end of Lockup. And he had Jimmy sing it. What a fucking voice. Jimmy Jameson singing. And it was just fucking great. So he said to me, hey, I like the first song, which is Tiger. And we were like, God, that's just movie music. To us, we were doing a demo. And he goes, and the second song, I want to put a hold on. I'm like, well, how the fuck you put a hold on a song? Because you're thinking at the time ahead, yeah, whatever. And then, we got word that he wanted to use it. And then we did, by the way, the version in the movie is not the version on the record. You know that, right? The version in the movie is a fucking demo that they all cried about. I'm like, if we don't get it in, everybody, and this isn't going to last forever, I was to say that it's going to move on, and this guy's fast. What do you mean? I said, he's smart. He's rewriting scenes and stuff. If we don't get this in, we're going to miss it. And Sly's like, what the fuck is a demo, man? He said to me one day, man, what's the matter? I said, fuck the guys, man. What demo? The fuck is a demo? So I said, yeah, like Pete Townsend would say, what's a demo? So I said, well, we'll use the demo. So the version in the movie is actually the demo. I still have the cassette tape. It says Rocky 3 demo on it. I still have it because I said, this is hysterical. I still have it. It's hysterical because we got to re-record. I'm like, we got fucking time. We're going to miss the whole window. The whole thing just go out the window. So, and, Sly was attached to it anyhow. So why not just roll with it?
Yeah.
I actually like the difference. I know what the difference is. More bass. It's got a little bit more boom. When you hear, let's record it let's do it for real. I don't know what that meant. Okay, but in the meantime, you lose all that. You're doing a demo. You lose all that. Yeah, you're just moving faders and then boom. Yeah, and you print and it comes together and you can't ever recreate that. So I had more bass and more kick drum, that boom, boom. Listener was kicking and he fucking loved it. He was, I don't even want to hear anything else. I said, well, then that answers that question. Yeah, so that was it.
Fantastic stuff.
Like history. The rest, well, it's true. The rest was like history because you're like going, oh, he's going to use it. It's funny. Then you go to the movie theater. Let me go see the movie. It's like, on the way there, true. I have 3 radio station, XRT, WLS, and no, XRT, I forget the loop, one other station. I'm switching, and all 3 of the stations are playing a song. I'm like, hey, maybe this is going to be a hit record. The beauty of youth. So I get to the movie, and they start going, and the people start cheering when Tiger starts. And then at the end, the fucking people stand up and applaud. I go, oh, they must really like the movie. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of kidding around tongue in cheek, but that's another thing. People should feel like we're all blessed, but you have to be grateful. But you work hard. We all do. Me, no matter what we do, we work hard. People should feel like, wow. I think we should always remember that word. My grandson, wow. Okay, that's how I am sometimes. Wow. It's a big thing. And, it all came out of a relationship between 2 guys out to dinner. One of the biggest movie star in Hollywood ever. And one happened with the music. And then we get Tiger in on 3 stations and people stand up and clap. And the rest of it from there was just a one great ride without any downs. It was just because
And just in terms of the movie itself, when you're watching that, did you get like goosebumps or the hair standing up on the back of your neck when you saw how beautifully the music matched and they made it match everything that was going on in the scene?
That's another thing. Sly Stallone is really smart. So he liked it so much that he went and he recut some of that montage because this is another story. Queen was in there.
Yeah.
Was another one bites this, and then I'll tell you later. So when he got Tiger, he liked it so much, so he kind of recut to the rhythm of the song, and he added a few scenes. Hi, it's the Muppet Show. All the stuff he did on there. He's a fucking great filmmaker. He doesn't even get the credit, but he's a really good filmmaker. So Doing that made the song even better for the movie, but you got to give him the song so he could make it better. So I think it was like one hand washes the other, but he did a great job with it. Fucking did a great job. Then you fast forward, we're playing at the Forum, and my guitar tech comes, hey, Brian May wants to meet you. Brian May, because he's one of my fucking idols. I love, does anybody not like Brian May? Nicest guy in the world. A total gentleman. I'm like, wow, I'm like free. I go to meet him. He's like, totally Brian May. And chilled out. He goes, we're talking. He goes, so was our song in there? Yeah, it was in there, Brian. Yeah, another one. That's what I heard. I said, no, I have a cut, but I can't give it to you because I don't know if the man would get mad at me, but which I still have. I have the original. I have the first 10 minutes because Sly sent the first 10 minutes and I had to call him up. I'm like, hey, dude, what? It's not like we're going to make bootleg copies in the fucking garage. We want to see the whole movie. I did, as I said to him. So maybe that was like when we first hooked up. And then he sent the whole movie, but it had Another One Bites the Dust in it. So I have a copy of the first 10 minutes with nothing. Then I have a finished copy with Another One Bites the Dust. And then I have Tiger. And it's with the original script of Rocky 3 with Sly changing scenes and notes. It's in a safety deposit box. Because I think somewhere along the line, somebody told me, I don't think that the man ever wants to see that shit for sale on eBay. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do that anyhow, but it's probably worth a fortune, but I don't look at things that way. Yep. I know his original script, some guy owns it. I know it pisses him off. If I was the guy, I would just give it back to him. He has just this red notebook where he handwrites. He wrote the whole Rocky thing out, and some billionaire owns it. I would just give the fucking thing back to him. And he says, that's not the way the world works, kid. So, okay. But I have it all in a safety deposit box. And I went there about 2 years ago to make sure it was still there. The bank is like, you have a safety deposit box here for like 40 years. Yeah, I know. We have to come and open it, and, make sure that it's used. I go, let me see what's in it. It was all still there. Because you never know. I'm always worried about, I don't think about this, but that stuff's worth a fortune.
Yeah.
Not that you want to do anything when I'm like, I'm going to go look. I remember I got up early. When's the bank open? I went over there and it was still in there intact. It's fun though to have it because it's part of it. That's why I found a fucking Maxwell, members at live, a Maxwell cassette tape, Rocky 3/demo in the safe. So I left it there. I said, this is better in this bank than I just said, if you guys are ever going to bulldoze the bank or sell it, just let me know so I can come get it.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that. There's laws. I said, well, I was just kidding, but make sure that I come in and check it. But it's still there. Yeah, it's
But that
funny.
song and that movie and the combination, it's almost part of American culture. It's part of American history. It's the sort of thing that probably should end up in a museum somewhere.
I would think, I don't think like that, but I have to agree with you. Didn't it kind of just, I think it grew into all of that over the
Yeah.
years. I was talking to his brother. I'm really good friends. Frank Stallone is one of my best friends. And he's always, I don't believe you can't win the fucking Oscar with that, which maybe they're not going to give, you know how that Academy is. They're not going to give it to a rock and roll band. But all these years later, the song that won, nobody ever hears it.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a point to that. I remember Sly Stone telling me, yeah, they fucked us, man. After what I saw him at the after party, but I never looked at it that way. You just gotta enjoy the ride because you're not gonna get like that many of those rides. If one,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll take the one. And we had a couple, but that's kind of a fun story. It's a good start,
Fantastic start. And then just moving on, obviously that was Rocky 3, Rocky 4 came along. So did Sly come to you straight away? Was it like, guys, I need another one?
Well, Tony Scott, he came to the Scotty Bros. He wants a song. And then we came up with it was called The Unmistakable Fire. And then Sly hated this. He hated the fucking title. On the Burning Heart, The Unmistakable Fire. So, Burning Heart was, but the title was Unmistakable Fire. And I could see that. I go, that title sucks. So Sly's like, the title fucking sucks. They got to change it. So then Tony Scotty goes, you guys have to go up to Stallone's office on the lot. And we went up there, like, that title's got to go. So, okay, we'll just call it Burning Heart because it's part of it. And it needs something in the chorus. Excuse me. What do you mean? He goes, I don't know, like what? I don't know, like a whip. Jim and I sit around looking at each other. What do you mean? He goes, like an explosion. I said, like a whip? So we had Peter Wolf, the keyboard guy that went on to like work on the rest of our records on keyboards. The guy that was in
And
Zap,
Zappa. Yeah, yeah.
fucking great. He did fucking unbelievable talent, great producer. We had him come in with his Sinclavier that's whenever one press of the key, sent it in, and Sly goes, yeah, that'll work. And that was Burning Heart Story. And then that went to number 2, which is kind of nice too.
Was there
Tiger said,
ever, I was going to say, was there ever any, because obviously Eye of the Tiger was a worldwide hit and you written it really quickly. Was there any pressure, did you feel, to come up with something that was going to stand up to that song? Because let's be honest, it's always going to get compared, wasn't it? So did you feel any pressure in writing Burning Heart?
there might have been, but if there was, I didn't fucking care. I didn't pay. I don't remember it. I don't think so because we were in the middle of doing like the Vital Signs tour.
Yeah.
We were on the road, which lasted 22 months. That's a lot, which was a fucking blast. And it was like we had to fly in and out of town to do the song. It fit in perfectly to like the lifestyle back then. So you're on the road nonstop. You're doing 4 shows with Jimmy Jameson, 5 shows a week. The fucking guy's amazing. And then you'd have a few days off. So you'd come out here and cut the track. You'd come out here and work on the track. It all just worked almost kind of seamlessly now that I think about it. It's kind of another blessing with time, it just kind of moved naturally. Like we didn't have to force it. We didn't have to cancel dates. We didn't have, oh, this needs to get done now. So I guess there wasn't any pressure to it. We just did what we did. And he liked it. Then I said to him one time, that song, it's really good. What? No Easy Way Out, man. That should be the lead song. Be quiet. I hear the guys getting all mad at me. You remember that Robert Tepper song that's in that montage in Rocky IV? Did you ever? That's a killer track, man. Especially in that film. And me, I have to see both all the worlds at once. I'm like, that should be the lead track. And all like, shut up, throwing stuff at me. Well, because I felt it should be. Now, if you watch it, go watch it. You'll say, yeah, it's really good. And that's where he cut the montage when he's driving the car. That was a great track. So I'm like, well, we got past that one. What do you mean? Because if it were me, if I was in a Colodner, I'd say, you guys got to have a great cut. It's going to be hit. But track one's going to be that Robert Tepper, No Easy Way Out. And then they're like, you got to fucking shut up about. Well, the other side of my brain could actually see where that would be huge. So, and he was on Scotty's too. So there, we got a little bit lucky there. We did because they could have said, push this one.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was because it was a follow-up with the Rocky thing, the Tiger. There's a lot of really good. The whole thing is great. I just remember that moment going, when I heard Tepper, I'm like, man, that should be the fucking lead track. Fucking shut up, man. Are you kidding me? Put everything. Well, wait a minute. I don't want to ruin anything, but it's really good, man. Don't say that. You know how things get.
Yeah.
But, well, that's me. I kind of have this weird, I have left and right of my brain. And one side can see a different picture. Even if it, like, you might say it, I wouldn't put it this way. Even if it doesn't work to my benefit, whatever that means, I guess a song, the financial, I can always see, well, that's a producer. I mean, I think that might work better, but that's kind of when you're in a band, you got to be really careful what you fucking say. Because 6 months later, you're in Germany somewhere and they're doing 20 shows, and the guy's mad at you. You wanted to fucking put Robert Tepper's song, and okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to peace all the time. That was my job. I'll be the peace. By the way, don't ever take that job on.
That's fair enough.
That's the Burning Heart. But he let us alone, man. He just wanted to whip in it. He let us alone. I give people a lot of credit because I think that people in Sylvester Stallone's position they could do a lot. And then you would get the meddler types that would just meddle, would ruin everything. He just let us alone. And now I think about it in this moment, probably because he wanted people to fucking leave him alone in the beginning when they said, you can't act, you got droopy eyes. You remember that whole story? Yeah. Maybe, I just thought of that. Maybe I should say one time, hey, man, yeah, I went through the same shit. So I said, I'll just leave everybody the fuck alone. Could be. You don't know, but it could be.